Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe Radha Jai Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Gaura Pimanandi. Dame Vishupad Paramahamsa Pri Vrajgacharya Stotra Satta Sri Simar His Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Iskcon Krishna Founder Acharya's Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Primsika Ho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Sri Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Sri Dwarka Dham Ki Sri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Sri Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Sri Mayapur Chandradaya Mandir Ki Gangamayi Jamunamayi Ki Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai Sri Gaurnitai Ki Jai Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi Ki Jai Sri Krishna Balaram Ki Jai Sri Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Sri Radha Madhava Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Pimanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Can bring my computer and glasses. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmetam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jita Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanditam Sham Hai Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kantana Namostate Tapta Kansana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Preshavanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayana Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Prayesha Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. idam bhagavatam nama
idam bhagavatam nama
puranam brahmasamhita
puranam brahma samhita
uttama shloka charitam
shloka charitam
chakara bhagavan rishi
chakara bhagavan
nishreyasaya lokasya
nishreyasaya lokasya
dhanyam swaschayanam mahat.
dhanyam susayama.
This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
Prabhu Nityananda
Sri Advaita Gadadhara
Shri Advaita Gadadhara
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Shri Surabhyaya Namaha
Om Shri Surabhyaya Namaha
Om Shri Surabhyaya Namaha
Shri Surabhyaya Namaha
Om Shri Surabhyaya Namaha
Om Shri Surabhyaya Namaha
Mukham karoti vasalam pangum nangayate girim yadkripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam yadkripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. We are going to read from, naturally, Srimad Bhagavatam, but we'll have a short class today. From the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and one of our favorite chapters, which is chapter 2, Divinity and Divine Nature. Text number 14. Tasmad ekena manasa Bhagavan Satvatam Patihi Srotavya Kirtitavyascha Jaya Pujascha Nityada Tasmat. Therefore, Ekena, by one, Manasa, attention of the mind, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Sattvatam, of the devotees, Patihi, protector, Srotavyaha, is to be heard, Kirtitavyaha, to be glorified, Sha, and Jayaha, to be remembered, Pujaha, to be worshipped, Sha, and Nityada, constantly. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Therefore, with one pointed attention, one should constantly hear about, glorify, remember, and worship the personality of Godhead, who is the protector of the devotees. Kindly repeat after me. Therefore, with one pointed attention, one should constantly hear about, glorify, remember and worship the personality of Godhead, who is the protector of the devotees. Purport. If realization of the absolute truth is the ultimate aim of life, it must be carried out by all means. In any one of the above mentioned castes and orders of life. This was a previous verse in reference to Varnas and Varnashram. So in any of the above mentioned castes and orders of life, the four processes, namely glorifying, hearing, remembering, and worshiping, are general occupations. Why? Because each division is referred to as ashram, brahmachari ashram, grihastha ashram, vanaprastha ashram, and sannyas ashram. So it means that according to Vedic culture, irregardless of where we are situated in the social order, our goal, our activities are the same as mentioned here. Glorifying, hearing, remembering, and worshiping. Without these principles of life, no one can exist. Activities of the living being involve engagements in these four different principles of life. So these are the principles, in many ways, primary, essential principles of devotees on a daily and regular basis. Just like every day we hear something from Srimad Bhagavatam. Sometimes it's short, sometimes it's longer. Today will be short because of traveling. So, Prabhupada, let's hear what Prabhupada is telling. Especially in modern society, all activities are more or less dependent on hearing and glorifying. Any man from any social status becomes a well-known man in human society within a very short time if he is simply glorified truly or falsely in the daily newspapers. Sometimes political leaders of a particular party are also advertised by newspaper propaganda, and by such a method of glorification, an insignificant man becomes an important man within no time. But such propaganda by false glorification of an unqualified person cannot bring about any good either for the particular man or for the society. There may be some temporary reactions to such propaganda, but there is no permanent effects. Therefore, such activities are a waste of time. The actual object of glorification is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has created everything manifested before us. We have broadly discussed this fact in our comments on the Janmadhyasya, Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 1st chapter, 1st verse, shloka, at the beginning of the Bhagavatam. The tendency to glorify others or hear others must be turned to the real object of glorification, the Supreme Being, and that will bring happiness. So once again, the translation, therefore, with one pointed attention. Ekena manasa. With one pointed attention, one should constantly hear about, glorify, remember, and worship the personality of Godhead, who is the protector of all devotees. So Srila Prabhupada is making the point in the purport that actually these activities of hearing and glorifying and remembering and worshipping are ongoing every day in the material world because these are natural activities. The only problem is that such hearing, such glorifying, such remembering, such worshipping is not directed towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is the special feature of one who is cultivating this knowledge of Krishna consciousness. Same point is being made in the Bhagavad Gita also. Mahatmanas tamam partam daivim prakriti asritaha bhajanti ananya manaso. Manaso, the same word is used here. Ekena manasa. Mind should be fixed on Krishna. Mind should be fixed on what is our primary goal and objective in life. And regardless of what we are doing, somehow there needs to be, we have to make that kind of connection. And when we fail to make that connection, then actually we develop the culture of Maya culture. So even as devotees, we have to be cautious so that our mind is properly engaged. Prabhupada in that respect would say that in the beginning of Krishna consciousness, it is very, very, very important for beginners to be busy in activities related to Krishna consciousness. An idle mind is a devil's workshop. So therefore, it's only those who are advanced devotees who, like Haridas Thakur, for example, can sit at one place and just chant his rounds without falling asleep and completely being satisfied and happy in those activities. So when we fail to do that, either as devotees or those who are not devotees, those who don't even have this knowledge or information given from these important writings of the Vedic literatures, especially the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, then naturally their mind is also ekena manasa, but on all things that are disconnected with Krishna. And therefore, every single activity they perform, every single morsel of food that one eats, one is actually committing sinful activities, even unknowingly, without understanding. And that is actually the stringent laws. These are the stringent laws of material nature. When we perform activities in ignorance, influenced by tamagun, by the mode of ignorance, or by the mood of passion, or even by the mode will also translate into a mood. So these are the three modes of nature. The lowest being ignorance, then a more advanced passion, more advanced goodness. But all of the three modes of nature bind one to this material world. So therefore, unless one, even, we meet many good people, socially regarded as good. They're engaged in various welfare activities, etc. But that is still binding unless one is knowing about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and performing those activities ahaituki pratihata, without any material motivation and without any interruption, then yagatma suprasidati will not take place. We will not be able to meet our basic needs and necessities of life. Someone just sent a short news bulletin regarding the condition here in India, for example, which is very much in a general way the global situation, that because we are not following in the context of agriculture especially, what is meant to be the natural way, more normal way of doing things, of growing food, of caring for cows, and also because we're engaged, it's general also, not only for farmers, because most people are engaged in adharmic activities that are not based on the basic qualities, the basic 4 pillars of dharma: truthfulness, compassion, discipline, and cleanliness. Therefore, the news article was mentioning that by next year, or within a very short time, possibly less, some 21 cities here in India, major cities, will be without water. And it went on to further explain that actually of all the countries in the world, there's about 122 countries. Out of 122 countries who have water problem, India ranks as number 120. Means it's in the worst situation because we are using borewell, because we are greedy in wanting to have more than one crop. Traditionally, one would only grow one crop because there's only one rainy season. Now we're not even sure there's going to be a rainy season, or the rainy season starts late, as it did this year. And people who analyze this have found that in the last 10 years or so, the amount of water actually falling, which is essential actually for farmers to grow the food, and which is essential for all of us who may not grow food but who consume food every day. If the farmers cannot produce the food, we cannot consume the food, obviously. And we cannot manufacture food. They haven't invented that yet, although they're working on it. So it means that actually even the very basic daily needs and necessities of life will become very, very troublesome. We will not be able to meet our basic needs and necessities of life. So this is all the various anomalies that are taking place all over the world, and in some countries more so than others, is a direct result of not knowing about, or possibly knowing but not following properly, what are meant to be the natural laws of nature, which are clearly outlined in the pages of the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the pages of all literatures, actually, scriptures rather, that focus on God. And of course, of all these different scriptures, we know how the Vedic literatures are very unique in that they are very extensive and they are very complete in that they give detailed information about spiritual subject matter right up onto the level of knowing and understanding the nature and the identity of Godhead. Lord Krishna, as well as all kinds of details and information about how to live materially, all the different material sciences. One of them being the science of economics, which is dealing especially with Krishi Goraksha Vanijam, Krishi agriculture and Goraksha. So there are more things to be said, but our time is a bit short. It also mentioned that, in that short news article, just to add one or two small points, I think by next year, so many cities will not have water, and then within 10 years, by 2030, 40% of the population in India will not have access to drinking water. 10 years is a very short time. We are beginning to hear more and more about these things. Of course, it's common, but it's becoming more, I would say, pronounced and based also on serious studies and observations. We are, Prabhupada, he put it perfectly in the context of cows, for example, and of course all of this is very much directly related with our not protecting cows. More and more in villages are no cows, or very few cows. So Prabhupada mentioned that actually this lack of proper care, attention, and protection of cows, which is the result of bad government policies all over the world, is simply a suicidal policy. We're committing suicide because we are destroying the source of our very what is meant to be our very existence. We're destroying the soil, we're destroying the food, we are making a situation where there is less water, and therefore we ourselves, by destroying nature, naturally we are destroying ourselves. So therefore a need for more people, of course beginning with our own devotees and then others as well, to become, to wake up to this reality that this is also very much our dharmic responsibility to take care of Krishna's nature. Krishna's nature. It's not anybody else's nature, it's Krishna's nature. Okay. Comments or questions? It's a comment or question?
It's a concern.
A concern.
Yeah, 40% of the water, the places won't have water.
That means 40% of the population will die.
How will you protect cows?
Yeah, well, even now cows are not protected. That means that 40% of the population, when we say population, we mean not only humans, but animals, etc. like that. Because everyone, every day, needs to drink water, needs to take food. We can't follow Nirjala Ekadasi every day. Although those who do follow Nirjala Ekadasi will be less stressed when that water is not there. Anyways. Okay. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Hare Krishna.
Bhakti Raghav Swami Maharaj ki jai.